Hey folks, and welcome to this live stream on the 30th of August 2024. Alright, so we're just going to run through a couple of things and kind of see what's setting up. So we had this oil trade a couple of days ago. We sold. Let me show you where we sold. We sold here. Yeah, right here. At this zone, just here. The stops were above this. And we got out of the trade just here. And the reason we got out of this trade here is because here we have demand, here we have the buy zone right here. So you can expect prices to react there. They went a little bit deeper into this buy zone, but we had a nice reaction. I think prices will probably wriggle higher from here. Looking at the daily chart, yeah, I mean that's a pretty strong push higher. This is our reaction. This is where we sold, we got out, and now prices are wriggling north. I should have bought actually here because I think the prices are going to continue to wriggle higher, and the reason I think that is because of this. So yeah, we'll see. I think we're going to continue to wriggle north, and also we have an origin. The origin is here. This is the destination, so this is the move. Okay, do the boxing. Alright, this is not very clear, I'm sorry about that. Let me try and do something different. First of all, let me zoom in, and then do this. Okay, so we were buying in here, only allowed to buy at demand in here as prices come down. This is the sell side. We started to form this. We didn't manage to close above this high, so we had a short bias in this candle here on the 4-hour chart. We got out of the trade around here, not quite the lows, but a little bit above those. And if we have a look on the 4-hour chart, yeah, you can see just here. Okay, so prices went down, and now we're wriggling north from here. Okay, so in looking at the Kiwi American dollar, I mean, I'd be quite keen to sell this because this is the monthly chart. We're pretty high up. We tested the high of this, or did we? Let's have a look. Did we test the high almost? Not quite. We got pretty close to the highs. Nonetheless, on the weekly, we tested this one here, and now we're kind of having a bit of a pause. We went above here, which is important. Whenever price does that, you kind of sweep the top of the book, and this normally adds to some selling pressure, which we have not yet seen as of yet. But I would like to see prices do something like that, and then kind of test some structure before we fall it down to rebalance this here. So I'm guessing that we're going to move lower from here. So yeah, we're not really seeing anything there on the 4-hour. On this one, we're starting to break down, but it looks like there's like little visual objects in here that are white. If I maybe turn this black, maybe we can see background. I'll turn it back in a second. Okay, it's only those. No worries. Okay, white once more. I'm kind of enjoying the white background. And so, I mean, here we have a price nodule here. This is pretty interesting, and you can see when prices left. Let me zoom in a bit so I can show more detail. When prices left here, when prices went below here, so we had demand here, we can see because of the reaction, but now they're gone. Where did price have to go to in order to break through? They had to go to here. Okay, so this is that little zone, and you could take this almost and you could put it like that. Okay, because this is the breakaway candle, this is the origin of that move. Prices went down, pulled back the slingshot, and then we dumped. So this is also an interesting spot. So here we have a child, here we have a parent, we have well, that was a strange line, about as straight as a dog's back leg. Okay, here we have the beginning of the cell zone. We're doing this, and so I'm thinking moves up into kind of this general area before we see prices begin to break down. Okay, so keep your eyes on that. I have nothing on. I'm going away tomorrow morning really early. I'll be gone for 10 days. I think I've already mentioned this, but so I shan't leave any more trades, and I have that gold trade. I'll just leave that, and it can either hit the target or the stop, whatever. But that's what we have there. But I like this. The reason I think that we're going to probably turn around is because we had this area of demand right here, which was tested. Okay, here we have the price structure that price is violated. Okay, this is the beginning of the buy zone, but notice that the buy zone already kind of moved into this price structure here, telling us that prices tried to go high, but we failed. Okay, so that's telling us weakness. Okay, we had a really strong rally, but a lot of rejection there. So I'm thinking that maybe we'll maybe have another run a little bit higher, but I think we'll probably be able to move through this and begin to address some of the inefficiency just here. And this is an interesting one here because we had this zone here, but notice when prices went through, they came all the way back. So this is not going to provide much support. The one that may do that is down here. Okay, prices left. We kind of came back to the edge. So this is telling us that we might have some troubles moving through here, but we want prices to begin to break away on perhaps the hourly 4-hour chart. So let's have a look at the 4-hour. We look like this. Interesting, not terribly, not yet, but on the hourly, this is what we can see. So I think that if prices do manage to come up here, we've got this. This is the zone, as I just talked about, prices went up to and rejected from. So we could expect some price sensitivity at around this price point here, hence my alarm just around here. You should probably move that down a wee bit, something like that. So I think this is going to go lower, definitely lower. We got the American dollar Swiss franc, which is probably going higher. Yeah, so I would like to buy here, and I've got an order to buy. I'll probably pull that off before I leave. I don't know if we're going to get filled today. We do have a bit of data. As you can see here, we had the American dollar, GDP, a little bit better, unemployment claims, not a whole lot going on there. This might provide a bit of volatility for us, but this is likely slightly priced in, and so I'm thinking that price will just rally up to obvious price points or down to obvious price points. And I like on this chart, need to remove the volume, it makes it tough to see. Yeah, so we went below here. We have not managed to close below. On the weekly, we came, let me remove the volume. We went to it, we went just below it, and we closed, or rather we didn't close, we're still open this week, it's closing today, but I'm guessing that we'll probably eventually close above where this entry is. So on the 4-hour chart, I mean, we're getting this pattern again that we've spoken about so many times. Let me remove the volumes once more, where we have kind of this scenario here. What did we do here? We moved above these highs. We didn't, come on, lower. We didn't close above it, but we are, I think the prices will likely move down to around here. I mean, here, let me clear this up a bit. Okay, so the actual zone itself is actually here, a little tiny one. Okay, but this is the beginning of the buy zone. So the buy zone is here. This is the slingshot was pulled back to here, pointing to the beginning of the buy zone, which is right there where the entry is. Right there. Okay, so again, demand, buy zone, and so anywhere in here would be a buying opportunity, and so just waiting for prices to slowly make their way down there and wriggle away from that. So keep your eyes on that. The pound American dollar, let's have a look. Yeah, so the pound American dollar on the weekly, gosh, we're super tall. On the monthly, yeah, this is why I kind of like this one. for a short is because we managed to poke into that monthly high, and on the daily chart we started to break down already. You could see we had a zone. This is not a good zone, but prices did violate this high. Then they closed down very quickly, so we actually had demand consumed. And this is one of the strategies that I post in the room. Yeah, this is the gold trade, consume demand at previous period high. Exactly. So what that means is, it means that we have a zone. Prices come down to them. We move above this high, and then we consume it. Okay, and when that happens, this becomes like a flip zone, because typically this will provide resistance as prices move back up into this area. And typically there will be a zone somewhere in here and a corresponding sell zone, and this would be the spot that you would look to sell at as prices move up in anticipation that they move away. So let's jump back to the chart and just see. We can spot that maybe on the 4-hour or the hourly. Okay, so here the daily was the zone that was consumed. Here we have a zone right here. The buy zone is breaking down, getting deeper and deeper to the demand, which is here. Okay, and if they get too close, this tells us something about the strength of that, and that means that it's not going to provide much support for price as prices continue to kind of test it. So making lower highs and lower lows kind of into that zone. You can't really see the detail here. Maybe on the hourly chart we can see. So here we have that zone. This is that 4-hour spot. Just here, the buy zone was established. Lower, lower. Okay, and here, prices are, what I like about this is that prices did that. We moved below, kind of already visited the slingshot zone-ish, bit of a messy one. But now prices are likely going to wriggle south. But judging by what we can see here, there's still a little bit of space until we get down to here. And so, I mean, here it would be obvious to begin to target some places where price might bounce at. This is price is kind of drifting throughout Asia, so there's not going to be a lot of liquidity there. Matter of fact, you can see that here. If I go from here to here, so this price behavior just here, this is in Asia, so there's no volume there, telling us that there's probably not a lot of strength in that. And you can see prices just tore through it super quickly at this little price structure just here. Tested inefficiency. You can see here this was kind of maybe the UK session, pick up in volume, and then we formed this price structure which has now been tested. Now price is just kind of drifting until maybe London opens in, what time is it in London now? The time in London is, it's 6:45, so we still have a little ways. But what I'd like to see is I'd like to see prices rally and then just sell as prices rally just for a little bit, at least until we get back down into here. Okay, the Euro USD, I had an order to sell here, but I missed my entry yesterday. Actually, I don't think I put that in the room. My apologies for that. So this is my entry here. Here, I wanted prices to come up to here, but they didn't. So here we have parent, we have a child, and we came to the child. Okay, the sell zone for this zone is established here. Notice that the sell zone already tested kind of the swing that this area of supply was able to trade below. So that gives this, at least on the next test, less strength. But what I would expect is I would expect prices to maybe revisit these highs here, and maybe even revisit this parent zone just up here before returning to rebalance this. We've already made it all the way down here, which is pretty close to that. So this is going to be a place that's going to provide some support, because it facilitated trading above this turning point. So this is important. So if you do manage to get in here, make sure that there's no risk on at this point. But this trade kind of already happened at the chart. I didn't take it, but if you were going to trade, you want to look to sell above these highs here. Okay, the American dollar, Japanese yen. So this is likely drifting a little higher. And the reason I think so is because, did we get here? Yeah, we got here. Okay, so that's not entirely accurate. Yeah, we got right to that area just there. So on the weekly chart, we zoom out a little bit. Yeah, we got to remove that. Okay, so here we had parent, child, parent, which we tested. Okay, that's kind of a big deal, because when prices left here, we went above here. So that's telling us that there's a lot of strength in this demand here. The buy zone was just here. We have to use a straight line. It was just here, which we tested, went through the buy zone into the demand, and this is where we saw a reaction. So what I think we're going to see here is, something like that on the smaller time frames. On the daily, if we have a wee look, there's not a lot going on here. It's late. What is it? It's lunchtime, just over lunchtime here in Asia. So we'd expect prices to not do a whole lot. But I would expect on the 4-hour chart that we would. Oh yeah, okay, there it is. It's already kind of happening. We had this demand. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Also, like when you see a zone qualified like this, notice the color of the candles. The one up to is white. The zone candle is white, the departure candle is white. What's that telling us? Strength. Sorry, there's some maniac with a chainsaw next door. And so I'm expecting prices to go higher from here. Did we miss the trade? Not necessarily. We missed the proper entry. This is good. We know that we tested that 4-hour demand here. Okay, and now we're exploring liquidity. We want to see prices move above here, and then buy at the demand / buy zone directly below this high here, which we should form maybe today or maybe next week. So keep that in mind. This little price structure, it's beautiful. It's already happened, which is a blow. I didn't even see that. This happened. When was that? 4/8. Yeah, I was kind of in bed when we poked into that. But I saw this when I just came home from dropping off. Actually, no, this is before. This is early today. I wasn't at my charts. I was having breakfast or taking kids to school. But this is a nice spot, so you could even just jump in with a smaller time frame. Let me get rid of these boxes. Bye. Yeah, so when you also, something to note, that when you trade, this is a close from yesterday, oftentimes, not always, when you trade below during Asia, normally it goes up, late Asia, European session. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to continue to wriggle higher. A logical place. We've got something here. This is going to provide a little bit of a resistance for price, but this is the 5-minute chart, so just keep that in mind. But I think that we'll probably continue wriggling higher. If we have a look at the Aussie American dollar, so this should be wriggling a little lower. Yes, so here we have it. We have this high, which is tested. On the monthly, we're super high. On the 4-hour, yeah, so we've got this 4-hour zone just here. And so here we've got runs higher, failure, run higher, failure. So runs higher can be met with selling as price returns back to the origin of that move, which is essentially just here. Okay, this is not a beautiful spot. This is price exploration. Prices did this. They gapped down into a decent area, and now they're trading higher off here. So yeah, that's a tough one. I would probably wait to do anything, but I would certainly feel comfortable maybe selling as price moves higher from here. We have a look at one more. Let's look at gold. Actually, we need to put it on this chart. So gold, oh, it's so annoying, the chainsaw. So this is the daily chart. We put this in the room. You know, prices are kind of wriggling around. I like that we traded above here on that day and we sold off. This one we opened, we went up, we went almost to the highs, failed. And so I think today we're probably gonna revisit some of these lows. This was the low that was hit during the night. This was 50% to my target. I could have gotten out of that and been stopped out on the second half, but yeah, I was in bed, so that didn't happen. But I think that this is likely gonna wriggle south from here, at least for a little while. Yes, on the weekly chart, we had a really big pullback. Actually, I don't want to look at this. I want to look at the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. There was a gentleman in another room I visit who was talking about this. Okay, so on this one, having a look at this, you can see we have a huge inefficiency above price. Prices went below these lows here, and what happens then? Well, we have demand down here, and we have liquidity down here. So every time price runs below lows like this and this and this and this, we're picking up a lot of bids, and so I would expect prices to kind of continue higher from here. So with that in mind, we go to the daily chart, and you just want to kind of try and find reasons to buy. And currently we've been in this range for quite a while. So ideally you would look for prices to grab liquidity below like that and just pick up a small take on a small position there and move back in, maybe have another go, take on another one, and then slowly follow it higher as prices wriggle higher. We also have the swaps on your side as well, so it's beneficial to hold this, and it really is not to sell. So I would certainly be comfortable doing that. If we have a look on on the 4-hour chart, we already had, let me get rid of these, bugger off. You can see we had this zone just here that was formed today. We took out all of these highs here. Gone, and now it all originated from here, and so prices are just beginning now to wriggle high. We also had this zone here that was tested here, here, and here, and here, and this kind of it certainly was able to hold price, support price. And then we have a lot of this above as well, and we closed above this high here. This is kind of a big deal as well. So I would just expect prices to slowly begin to wriggle higher. What do we have here? Yeah, I was kind of eyeballing an entry down here, but prices did not get there. Ideally, I would do something like this here, because here we have demand right here, and here we have the buy zone right there. So I'd be pretty happy if prices were able to come back down to around here. Then I would certainly engage and see if we can revisit these highs after a bit of a retracement, but I'm not sure that's going to happen today. We seem to have taken off, but yeah, time will tell. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it at that. That's already 25 minutes. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.